Hi, welcome to another new video. So in this video, we'll be talking about series of colors, watercolors that's released by Supervision, which is a Chinese brand watercolor manufacturer. They came out with a set of with 11 sets of colors. It's kind of subdivided into two. So we have the Great Artist series over here and also the High Grade Grey. I actually saw this set of watercolor from Taobao quite a while back. There are 10 tubes in one box and there are actually 8 mils in one tube. If you go to Taobao, you will be able to see all these different boxes. They come in a really nice box and everything. The sleeve is beautiful, and they even have these color swatches, and they will even show you what you can do with the colors. And there's also like kind of a swatch card to show you what you can do with the colors. I was so intrigued by the range of colors that they put together, so I just went ahead to buy samples from Taobao. Oh my god, okay. So I ordered this set of Supervision colors. And now I have no idea like which set they come from. So these are probably like each one row belongs to one series. So I just have to go and find out what they are. They came all in one big box, as you can see in the video where I unboxed them. I will just go through very quickly what they are. This palette here is inspired by Hokusai. So Hokusai is a woodblock Japanese artist. He does this famous wave painting. And then we also have this palette inspired by Claude Monet, of course, very famous impressionist watercolorist. And next we have Alphonse Mucha. Alphonse Mucha is a popular, he does a lot of illustration of girls and flowers and like the Art Nouveau kind of era. And I really like his work very, very much. And then we also have a palette inspired by Van Gogh. So we all know Van Gogh, like he's probably the most famous artist of all time. Very bold use of colors. And finally, we also have Morandi. So in fact, for me, I didn't know of Morandi until I bought these, and I kind of read up more about him. So he's very famous for doing still life, and his colors are all muted. So you can see from the palette here, very nice muted colors. And then we do have the series that are High Grade Grey, and two of them are kind of like inspired by, I think, Chinese history. So we have this Chang'an Palace music, very, very bright colors, red and mainly red, blue, and greens. And then we have the Charm or Song Dynasty, very muted. I would say like totally opposite of the Chang'an Palace music. And over here we do have those are kind of inspired by traveling. So this is La Provence. This is part of the High Grade Grey. This is color that you can, that's inspired by perhaps the lavender fields. And then we have this one called Garden Tour of Midsummer. Also a lot of pink and purple, very pastel-y colors. There's also Spun Sugar, also one of those very pastel-y palettes. And finally, Sweet. This is Sunset Travel. So this palette is very dusky. Everything is kind of like dark purple, grayish, kind of tone. So I've actually used them all in short front painting for 11 weeks. So you can see like a kind of like a summary of all of them in the next segment. So the thing about using these watercolors is that there is no need for you to mix. So all you need to do is just use them straight from the pans. It's kind of easy, like you just need to look at what you have and what the color might look like in the picture, and you just paint it. There's no need for mixing. So it's kind of fast, and I think it's a fun way to paint. So this is a short front that I painted with the colors in the Hokusai palette. It comes with a beige, red, and some olivey green, and some like a bluish, like kind of a minty green color, and about 3 blues. So this is kind of a balanced palette, quite versatile, I must say. So this is what I painted using Van Gogh, the palette for Van Gogh. And this is a palette that looks beautiful together. The color combination looks nice because it's just, you see the yellows, the greens, and the blues, but you're missing like the reds and the purple. So it's nice, it's beautiful together, but it is missing essential colors. So this is what I painted with Morandi, and I love how the colors come together. Very harmonious, gentle, pleasing looking colors, mostly blues, grays, like browns, yellows, but as you can see, it's imbalanced. You don't have the reds, you don't have orange, you don't have bright colors. Everything is very muted. So it's incomplete, I would say, but beautiful palette. This is what I painted with the Alphonse Mucha palette. And as you can see here, it has quite a range of colors, but mostly beige, pink, red, and I think some browns, a little bit of olive green, and a very light blue. So I must say it does have almost all the colors, except it doesn't have very dark blues and I think no purple. But I think all in all, it still looks quite complete, and it's one of my favorite palettes. This is what I painted with Claude Monet, the palette for Claude Monet. This one has got pink, some dark green, 2 blues, a purple, and a host of other like light olive green and brown. It's kind of complete, but I am a little bit disappointed with the vibrancy because I think the colors are very, very pastel and dull and a little bit too muted for my liking. So this is Sunset Travel. What I've done with Sunset Travel palette, this is, I would say, probably the most limiting palette because it really just have dull grays, dull brownish reddish brown, and some grays. There's no greens in here, and the blue is just really like gray, so it's really hard to use this one. Everything looks very like sunset, you know, like it's just really dark and gloomy. So this is what I've painted with La Provence. So with this palette, you have a host of pastel colors, beautiful pastel colors, pink, violet, mint greens, and also like a beige color. So I think you can use it for like painting like the person, like illustration of a cartoon character. But as you can see, the color is very light, very, very light, and you don't really see, like, you don't have that strong color. So this is what I painted with the Charm or Song Dynasty palette. This is also one of the most limited palette I've seen, and the colors are very dull. So as you can see, you get really like a dust type of colors. You do have blue, greens, light green, I mean like olive green color, like browns, mostly browns. So everything's just very, very muted. So very limited and very muted color. So this is what I've painted with the Chang'an Palace Music palette. So it may look kind of, I think, limited here, but actually it's actually one of the best, I think, because the colors you do get, this is kind of like a blue, like a dark phthalo blue kind of color. You get some greens as well, a host of brown, there's a purple, there's a red, orange, and yellow. So in fact, this is kind of, I think, the best palette to paint because it has almost all the colors that you need for painting. Like I would call it like a true watercolor palette. This is the palette that has the least pastel colors, and the colors are very kind of more transparent compared to the other ones. So I would highly recommend this one. So this is what I painted with Spun Sugar. So Spun Sugar is in the High Grade Grey series, where the colors are very kind of leaning towards very light pastel colors. So you can actually see a host of mint green colors and 2 pink colors, and you do have a blue, so it's kind of useful. There's a grey and there's a brown. So in fact, I think the colors, you do have quite a range. There's no yellow though. There's no yellow. The colors are kind of like pastel and light and muted. So not those really bright ones. But in fact, I think in all it looks okay. It's just that the colors are not complete. The set is not complete. This is what I painted with the Garden Tour in Midsummer. So this is also one of the High Grade Grey color set where, you know, if you have been listening, the High Grade Greys are very pastel. They are very light. The colors are really light value. This one has got like a beige color, a few pink colors, kind of a light, I think, brownish beigey grey, 2 violets, one green, and 1 blue and a grey. So it is very, very light. I would say it's missing yellow as well, and like the dark red, the red colors, and the dark greens and the blues. So not a complete set, but in general, I think it looks quite nice. And if you like to, because it has a beige, so if you like to do like cartoon drawing or illustration, human figure illustration, this is a palette you can use. So firstly, I want to go through what I like about this. If you hate to mix watercolors, this is the palette for you. You don't need to mix the colors. Everything is mixed for you. You know, sometimes when you mix, you kind of a little bit worried if the colors are harmonious, because if you do not know how to mix things, it might look like a total mess. But they have done the mixing for you. And for those of you who insist on making or mixing your own colors, you will be disappointed because these palettes don't have all the colors you need. Like, you don't have a yellow, red and blue in all of them. Some of them have it, some don't. So I don't think you should think of it as using them for mixing. So I think these are very inspiring palettes. They take the essence of the artist and they sort of extract out the colors that are very important, that kind of gives you the vibe. So for example, if you like to paint something, but you want to do it in kind of a style of, for example, Van Gogh, you can use this palette and you can emulate a little bit of his style. So now to the bad points. The first bad point is there is no pigment information. Maybe I didn't have the full tube, but when I look at the sleeve, because they do share the sleeves of the packaging, all they give you is the name of the numbers on each color, but they didn't give you the actual pigments that were used. So you do not know what goes inside here. And second point is are actually available as tubes. So I got samples, so they were all squeezed into the pans and sent to me. There's considerable shrinkage, right? As you can see, that is quite a lot of shrinkage, and they don't really stay well in the pan. So if you drop this whole thing on the floor, everything just gonna fly out. A third problem, these colors are mainly pastels and they are kind of opaque. So when I swatch these, most of them has you can actually see that white cast. So it kind of show that they do have some kind of like a white pigment, maybe a PW4, PW6. If you would like to use this in a wash, probably not a good idea. I think I kind of know that they are going to be opaque because they do tell you like it's 不透明, so it means it's opaque. And finally, so this is the light fastness test, what we call our control. I kept this in the cupboard. This, I actually put this into for a light fast test in January, right? I removed it recently. Can you see? These colors are not light fast at all. Other than the greens over here, the rest of them, all the yellows and the reds have disappeared. So if you are going to use these colors and going to paint something to put on the wall, don't, okay? You can use them in your sketchbook, but not on the walls, okay? I know not all of you will be able to get these sets of colors, although I think they are probably available on AliExpress or on Taobao. But if you do have a kind of a extensive set of watercolor at home, I'm going to kind of show you guys what you can put together for these two in the next segment. Trying to find dupes for the Chang'an Palace music, and this is what I found. This is from Hobin. These are from Mission Gold, and there's one from Shinhan and one from Daniel Smith. So these, if you have these colors, and you can actually put together your own Chang'an playlist music. We do not have to have 10 colors. So for the Alphonse Muka palette, I actually only chose 8 colors, and most of these are from Mission Gold, and there's one from Schminka and one from Hobin. This is the end of my video. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, right? And also subscribe if you'd like to see similar watercolor related, urban sketching related kind of videos. And do let me know if there anything else that you want me to review. If not, I'll see you again when I release a new video. All right, and bye-bye.